Get Warrior Tough, Mental Training 101 with Andrew Wittman and Dutch Coleman. And now back to Andrew and Dutch.
All right, we're back at it. Dutch and Andrew, Andrew and Dutch, back in the saddle. Hey, if you want to join the conversation on Twitter, use the hashtag #GetWarriorTough. You can find Dutch at @DutchColeman. I'm at Warrior Tough PhD. Go to the website, getwarriortough.com, register for your free ebook, and subscribe to the free newsletter. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Hook up with us on LinkedIn. Go to the Andrew Wittman PhD Facebook page. There's just a plethora. Oh, get the app, too. You could get the Get Warrior Tough Network app, which you're probably listening to us on right now. There's a plethora of ways to get in touch with us, isn't there, Dutch?
No question.
I like to say plethora. That's the word of the day. Oh, also, you could call the office at 864-977-1443, 864-977-1443 if you want to do that old-fashioned thing. You know, call us.
There's nothing wrong with that.
We love that. Yeah, no, I'm all about that. All right, so let's pick up on this article that we left off, before the break. These companies are increasingly say it's becoming increasingly difficult to find applicants who can communicate clearly, take initiative, problem solve, and get along with coworkers. Those traits, the article says, often called quote unquote soft skills, can make the difference between a standout employee and one who just gets by. And Dutch, I'm going to have to take umbrage at that language, because I'll always say this is the things that we call soft skills, quote, quote, are actually the hardest skills to develop. They're the hard ones.
Right. And now we're going to make them easy. Now it's hard without us. And this is what people have been doing for years. The methods they've been using make soft skills the hardest.
Right.
Now, if you bring us on board, it's going to make it the easiest, because you're just going to sit back and watch us do our thing. And the soft skills are going to become very accessible, very manageable, easier than you've ever seen, because we have a process. We have something that's targeted at developing these skills.
Right,
so
and I will say
all these things,
it's easy to adopt. Our process is easily adopted and duplicated.
Right.
It's very simple.
So the difficulty is in the past methods and even present methods. That's where the difficulty lies, that you're doing it all wrong, and we're going to explain to you why. And if you bring us on board, it's going to be clear why.
Now, the article says, while these such skills are always appealing to employers, decades-long shifts in the economy have made them especially crucial now. Companies have automated or outsourced many routine tasks, and the jobs that remain often require workers to take on broader responsibilities that demand, buckle up, are you ready, Dutch? That demand critical thinking, empathy, and other abilities that computers can't easily simulate.
So this goes back to the difficulty in getting these soft skills, right? So we're identifying some soft skills as critical thinking, empathy.
How in the world would you tell me that critical thinking is a soft skill?
Well, the bigger thing is, can it be taught?
Well, that's why. Okay, so what they say is a hard skill is a technical skill. A hard skill, let's say, just take the warrior culture. Okay, Spec Ops snipers. The hard skills are shooting, marksmanship. The hard skills are, can you drive the car? The hard skills are, can you do hand-to-hand combat, defensive tactics? The hard skills are, can you do room entry tactics or close quarters combat? Where you hostage rescue and you come into a room. Those are the hard skills. And I'll tell you this, you cannot do any of those things unless you are a critical thinker, unless you have a process to think your thoughts, which is the hardest of hard skills, because I'll tell you, and our internal data show that less than 0.001% of people we come across actually have a physical process of how to think their thoughts, a process they can articulate, a critical thinking matrix. And you and I, we were doing training for some of the top scientists in the country, and I like to use this example. There was an MD, PhD. So this person was an MD and a PhD in hard science. And we were talking about critical thinking, and this person said, "Oh yeah, I'm a critical thinker." I said, "Well, can I ask you a question?" "Absolutely." I said, "What's your process on how you think your thoughts? What's your critical thinking matrix?" She said, "I don't even know what that is." Couldn't tell me how to think, how she thinks her thoughts. Couldn't tell me what is the process of critical thinking. Couldn't say. It's just a word we bandy about. And that's why we think it's a soft skill. It is one of the hardest skills. I mean, when I say hard, I mean it's a technical skill, and you could teach it to anybody.
So people don't view it that way now. When people speak about critical thinking, they think critical thinking equals smart. It's not the same thing.
No. You could be
And that's
smart and
what-
not a critical thinker, and you could
Exactly.
be a
So-
critical thinker and not be that smart.
We need to wipe that off. We need to wipe that off the face of the earth. Critical thinker does not equal smart. That's not a direct
Correlation, right?
So we have to get rid of that. That's the first thing we have to do. And then we have to get people in the mindset that critical thinking and even empathy is a hard skill. It can be taught.
Right.
These things, because a lot of times people don't understand what empathy is. They don't have a reason to be empathetic. They don't understand any of that. They don't know who they are, which we'll get into that as well. So there are a lot of reasons why empathy can't be taught, is because you're just telling people stuff, but you're not building anything. You're not creating anything. You're just telling people things. Well, we build it. We create it. We create a process so that if you're a physically talented person and you're successful because of that, because you have a physical process, well, there's a lot of the population that are not physically gifted. But what we can do is we can build a physical process that'll put them in the same category as a physically gifted person. Because what we did was we built a physical process through thinking, that began with a mental process, and you turn it into a physical process that's now going to have them performing physically as if they were among the physically gifted. So that's
Absolutely.
the thing. It's a hard skill.
It's
not a soft
technical.
skill.
You're right. You can learn it. It's as technical as any computer coding. If we could teach you computer coding, we could teach you this. If you can learn how to be a mechanic on a car, we could teach you this. If you could learn how to grammatically structure a sentence, we could teach you this. If you understand in art that there's a difference between perspective and form or whatever, we could teach you this. If you're a marksman, we could teach you this. You're a deer hunter. If you're, an athlete, this is literally a physical skill, both critical thinking and empathy and emotional intelligence. There's things that you can do, and that's what we call it biopsychology, where I get my body and my mind and emotions all to work in concert, and there is an actual scientifically based process, Dutch, that we teach, and it is very, very simple. So this kind of stuff just drives me nuts that it's increasingly difficult to find these folks.
Absolutely. So now the problem, if people are tracking with this, the problem is not in the job applicant. It's in the employer who has already categorized these things incorrectly. They've categorized critical thinking and empathy as soft skills because they don't understand those things. They don't understand how to teach them, and they don't understand where they fit with regards to a process.
Exactly.
So they're already miscategorizing it, which then everything's all out of whack at that point. So can this be taught? Absolutely. Can everyone teach it? No. That's where we come in. That's what makes us special. That's what makes us unique. When you latch on with Get Warrior Tough, we're going to take you down a path that's going to prove everything we're saying to be fact based in science, and your mind can do way more than than people have been telling you it can or can't do.
Absolutely. And I know it sounds like listen, we are biased. Every human being is biased, and we love our stuff. We believe in our stuff. But seriously, I've never come across anybody on the planet. I've been on every continent except for 2. And I've been to the most populated continents. We've been doing this a long time. I've never met anybody that teaches a physical process to thinking your thoughts. It's not out there.
I love a couple things about what we do. Number one, I love touching people. I love affecting people, impacting people's lives based on the work that we do. The second thing I love is to see any doubter before we came in, how they look afterwards. I challenge us every time we go out. I challenge us every time we go out. And the challenge is to not have a single doubter in that room when we're finished. And if you doubt anything we've done, I challenge anyone. But if you doubt anything we've done, it's based on the challenges that we presented to you in the first place.
We have some haters, Dutch, but they're not doubters.
Right. Now, I hear that.
Okay, so they're mad at us, but they're really not mad at us. What happens? They're mad at them. Right. They're mad at the mirror being held up. So we have haters. That's not what Dutch is saying, but we don't have doubters, because we're not trying to convince anybody that, see, this is what I said. The earth ain't flat. You could believe it is. I'm not trying to convince you it's round. I'm just telling you what the science says is that it's round, and that's what we do with all of our processes. And if it's not based in science, we'll tell you that. We'll say, look, this is my truth. This is my opinion. This is anecdotal. I don't have data to back this up right now. And we make sure that we red flag that for everybody and tell them that they know what they're about to hear is not backed in science. It doesn't happen very often, but when I do give an opinion, I make sure everyone knows that it's opinion.
And I tell you what, again, going back to the doubters or the haters, because it's hard to doubt facts.
Yeah, it's haters, not doubters. It's 2 different things.
Now, what I always say is, look, we put you in a room with the facts, and we put a bunch of guns and knives and everything in there, and we close the door and leave you in there with the facts, and
you guys fight it out. Yeah,
you can fight it out with the facts all you want. I don't have anything to do with that.
It was so funny when you said that.
May the best man win. Go for it.
Or woman, right?
Or woman. We're not involved with that. That's a battle between you and the facts, but that's what we're presenting to you. And the process that's built with your help, that's customized to you, that you are fully a part of. I mean, you have complete ownership from beginning to end. If you're mad at that, or you're mad at your target, which you're allowed to pick, and we help you walk down a path to set up a process to get their physical process and a mental process. So you can't be mad at any of that, because we're giving you complete ownership. We're giving you complete design,
control, rights, all of it. Yep,
everything, and we're helping you as the teacher, as the scientist in this process. We're helping you along, and I guarantee you're going to be satisfied with what you come up with.
Now, Kate Davidson goes on to say, as the labor market tightens, competition has heated up for workers with the right mix of soft skills. And then relax, don't blow your top here, because it says, which vary by industry and across the pay spectrum. From making small talk with the customer to the checkout counter.
I'm not even going to let you finish the sentence. So I want people to hear this, okay? Now pay attention. You know, competition has heated up for workers with the right mix of soft skills, which vary by industry and across the pay spectrum. Now, we've dealt with people on the floor, and we've dealt with people that are owners and CEOs of companies. Is that a fact?
Yes.
Now, so it's not a fact that the mix of soft skills vary by industry and across the pay spectrum, because we've been across industries and we've been across pay spectrums, and we teach the same thing. That we may customize it a little depending on the language, because we want to be effective. So we're going to customize the language, but the lesson is 100% the same, because we want the process to be duplicatable across all mediums, right? So
absolutely.
Again, this is a fact that it is absolutely the same. It does not vary by industry and across the pay spectrum. That's one of the problems here, that people are searching for the wrong things. You're searching for the wrong answers, so you're ending up in the wrong places. Now, if you search for the right place, you're going to end up at getwarriortough.com. You're going to find us sitting there waiting for you. But the skills that we teach are going to not only remain from industry to industry and from pay scale to pay scale. Every aspect of your life is going to be impacted, as we call all 8 cylinders. Your physical, your mental, your relationship. Everything is going to be impacted with this same process, with this same concept. So this is a complete truth right here, and it's a complete fallacy. To be quite honest, it's just
right. It's wrong, and it really is, and that's the problem. Is that because you know what, Dutch, you know what is the same? Here's the common denominator across every industry and all across every pay spectrum. Every one of those things involve a human being. And we know the human machine is the human machine. It doesn't matter what your socioeconomic background is. It doesn't matter what your upbringing was. It doesn't matter your geography. It doesn't matter, your religious background, or your political ideology. We know, because you and I have done this for a long time now, and our internal data shows across the board the human machine is the same no matter where you go. And I'm talking even third world countries. It doesn't even matter.
Science, fact. I know we're coming up on the next break.
Yeah,
we're having so much fun at this, but so I won't get started on another point. But these are facts. This is science, and when you deal with us, it's always fact based. So question it all you want, but again, I don't know who's going to make it out of that room. You or the facts.
I love it. The octagon. That's a pay-per-view fight, isn't it? You versus the facts. Listening to the Get Warrior Tough radio show with Dutch and Andrew.